What up? Hi, everybody. How are we doing? I'm just going to clean this off. Excuse the professionalism. There we go. Wiping off that professionalism. Hi, everybody. Welcome to WIP Wednesday Live. I'm your host, Matt, customsbymatchu. And tonight we're on episode 15. And tonight's going to be pretty fun. We have our second guest. So our first guest we had was Stranded Customs. That was probably about a month ago now. And yeah, just kind of wanted to kind of see how that worked. And yeah, it was good. It's good when it's with a friend. So I figured I would continue the trend of having a friend on. And tonight, my guest is somebody who I've become better friends with over the last year or so. He runs the legendary summer swap, which is happening right now. I'm also a part of that. I don't do anything at all with the summer swap other than I'm participating now. But he used to run the Foosh summer swap over on the Foosh forums. Now we've moved it to Instagram. So you'll kind of start seeing that show up a little bit more in my feed. But we'll talk about that. So yeah, so this guy is a great customizer, and yeah, I'm really excited to talk shop with him and do some customizing. He's been doing live customizing on Instagram on Tuesdays relatively frequently over the last month and a half, 2 months. So yeah, if you're ever around, check it out. All his information is in the description of this video. So I'm just going to bring him on. Everybody, this is my buddy Josh Draven.
Hey.
Hey, buddy. What up?
Not much, man. Me. I got 3 kids. This is my bedtime.
It's very difficult for me as a West Coaster who is also a night owl to get friends to join me on this little Wednesday night escapade. Yeah. to get people to hang out with me late on a Wednesday night. It's like everybody works the next day, but thanks for staying up a little later for me. That's great.
I figured I needed to find me a good lawyer to sue your ass for me staying up so late. Word on the street is Amber Heard has a great lawyer.
Shit. So how you doing, man? I like your helmet.
Thanks. My lovely wife made it. It's fun to do this.
For anybody who doesn't know who you are and what you do, you should give yourself a little intro and tell everybody what the fuck's up.
I guess I would have to make sure I know myself, right? So, named Draven. I'm a Colorado boy, born in a little mountain town, Gunnison, Colorado. I've been up in the Denver area now for a little over a decade. I got into customizing when I was actually, my first daughter was born. I thought it'd be cool, like make her some dolls, right? Some custom dolls. So I started researching how to make like custom dolls. I didn't want to just go buy, Susie Says all or whatever the hell from Walmart. I wanted to make her like a Zach Wild doll or something like that, right? And so I started researching, and then I came across action figure customizing, and 67 years later, I still haven't made a doll.
I remember you telling us that story when you and I and Wes had that chat one night when we were talking about switching the summer swap over to Instagram, and you were telling us that, and we were both like, "What the fuck?"
I've made her some custom figures. For what it's worth, so I'll leave the selling to my wife.
Collector Express is in the house. He says, "Hey fellas, what's up, buddy? How are you?" For anybody who doesn't know Collector Express, he does something very similar to this on Sunday nights. Go check out his channel, and yeah, it looks like he's got a pretty good community over there. I kind of popped into one when I was in Ontario time last weekend, so yeah, go check it out. What kind of stuff do you collect, Josh? Are we calling you Josh or are we calling you Draven? I'm going to jump between, and probably just for the record, everybody, there's a pretty good chance I'll probably call him Squall at one point, because I got used to you being Squall Draven on the Foosh forums.
Yeah.
And after that, it was like, oh, I can't, my mind always goes to that.
Oh, good. Yeah, usually Draven works. Ugly bastard.
So what kind of stuff do you collect?
generally, it used to be like everything, when we were kids, just anything and everything. I saw it on TV and I wanted it. But towards the later years, I got into really into Final Fantasy. So I started with 8. I'm one of the people who started with 8, not 7. So I had gotten, pretty much everything that they had released from 8. And then
who makes figures for Final Fantasy? Figure Arts?
Back in the day, it was Bandai. And they sucked. you like looked at them and they'd fall apart. Not even joking. But that's why I still have most of mine in their boxes. But yeah, I had a ton of Final Fantasy stuff, a ton of Star Wars stuff. That was kind of the biggest thing for years. And then when my wife got into grad school and we moved up to Denver, I sold it all. Just trying to help out, thinking I was done with that part of my life. And then, got a good job, got her degree, started making money again, and then,
got back into it
again. Yeah, so the biggest part of my collection is Final Fantasy, but I kind of got introduced to Marvel Legends. I was never much of a comic guy. If it hasn't been in a movie, I don't really know much about it. But really just enjoyed the Legends figures. Just thought they were done really well. I even like
I never really realized that you don't really do much Legends. I always kind of associate you as a Legends guy. Probably because of the work you put out. You work on Legends bodies a lot, so.
Right. Yeah, and I get it. That's honestly most of the stuff I want to make is not really mainstream stuff, right? So usually what you're going to see on Instagram is usually commission-based things, and
I'm gonna try to pull up your Instagram here, so I'm gonna see if this works here. Right. I've never done a share screen before, but let's see what happens. Chrome chat. I have a chat that I was chatting with somebody. See, it's appropriate. Oh, there it is appropriate. All right. So this is Draven's page. As you can see, he does a lot of original characters. You do a lot of work for this, like one person, right? One customer or a couple customers?
Yeah, my buddy Nick, man, he's got a very creative mind. He's always cranking out some original concepts, and
that's sick, dude. That looks so dope.
I appreciate it. Very happy to be working with him, man. He's a good cat, and really easy to work with, really respectful, and said he's got a endless imagination, and I'm always excited to see what he brings next. So that guy, the Silver Owl, there, he should be arriving in Rhode Island any day now, and then I'll just be anxiously waiting the next project he's got for me. So. He's been such a loyal customer. I just try to, as busy as I've been getting, I try to fit him in where I can because, got to take care of those original people. I think he was actually my first paid commission on through Instagram. Somebody reached out.
I have a lot of repeat customers too. I love working with the same people. It's fun, but it's fun because I have one person who I've done a bunch of I did an MCU cap, like an Age of Ultron cap, like on a better body than the one we got. I did, what else did I do for him? I did Vengeance of Moon Knight, which I'm going to post tomorrow on my Instagram. Like it's an older one that I did, but I've done about 5 customs for him. I did like a Netflix Daredevil for him.
Oh,
and
nice.
He's one of my oldest customers. I've been doing stuff with him for I have something but the funny part is he always gives me a list and it's never stuff I want to do. It's always stuff that I'm like, but because he's such a loyal customer, I'm like, I'll always kind of do something for him,
Yeah.
So I'm like, why don't you give me 5 or 6 options and I'll pick the one I think is the one I kind of like the best. So he's really easy to work with. So
I feel like I do some of my best work when I'm doing things I don't enjoy because I really, I got to basically tell myself, hey, don't half-ass this, right? You really have to kind of get involved with it, even if it's, I really enjoy doing more organic things as we're, actively looking at She-Hulk.
Yes.
So when somebody comes to me with
She-Hulk, there's a reason I'm keeping the She-Hulk on the screen because I was going to say, you got quite a bit of love for this figure when you started posting your WIP pictures. I remember you saying, showing me a couple of the likes and stuff that you got on it. I was like, damn, that's sick, dude.
Yeah, I would say I'm almost up to 2,000 followers. I would say probably 900 of those were because of She-Hulk. So
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
I see. I think the universe works out how it needs to. She was incentive prize for the St. Jude's benefit I did, and completely free figure, so to speak. The guy that donated $250 won her, I basically made it to where you could pick whatever you wanted. That's what he chose. So there's a lot of money, for St. Jude's last year. I'm planning on doing that again. It made me think a little bit different this year because I'm so busy. I don't really have time to do a lot of free figures, especially because doing the two swaps this year, and the sexy Canadian dude I know I'm doing a swap with.
So for anybody who doesn't know, I do a lot of custom figure swaps one-on-one, and I do like Secret Santa, and I'm doing Summer Swap this year, but I generally do 3 to 4 figure swaps one-on-one with my friends a year. New collector is always one because we've been doing them for like 7 years, so like that probably won't ever change. But because next year I decided I'm gonna do more commissions, I'm gonna get everybody, like the main people I've been talking about getting swaps with done this year, and then next year I can kind of step away from the one-on-ones. I'll just do like Summer Swap and Secret Santa or whatever.
Nice.
And then kind of go from there. But yeah, so when I started talking to you about it, when you sent me your list, I was like, there's a lot of stuff that like I have no interest in, but there was like a handful of probably 3 or 4 things where I was like, and like I think the one that I've kind of settled on, like I mean I've settled on it. I've put together parts, so I don't actually know like if that's ultimately where I'm going to land, but I feel pretty confident it is. Is the figure I'm looking forward to making the most this year. So I'm super fucking excited. It's right now if you don't count the 3 projects I have on the table, which are all like pretty much ready for paint, you would be number 5 in line, but the next 3 are like not full customs. Like I'm basically adding on to a couple figures and doing like a super minor paint job on another one. So like 3 like super easy customs, and then I'll start with Seth, new collectors, and yours will be the first 2 like big customs I get back to. So
nice. Yeah, I'm amazed at how speedy new collector is, and it's not bad work either, man. He cranks out some high quality work in like record time.
Crazy.
I've got a Wolverine from him, I think, from the second Secret Santa.
Oh yes, I remember when he was making that because we always share everything. So
nice. Yeah, it was a Hugh Jackman. I asked for a custom Hugh Jackman. Got it. So
that's right. An MCU Wolverine concept is what it was.
So,
yeah. Collector Express has amazing sculpt work. I agree. So that's Draven. So if you guys want to check his work out, he is on Instagram. Again, his information is in the description of the video, along with his YouTube channel as well. Go give him a follow or a subscribe. Check out his stuff. Give him some likes. Get that follower count up. See to get that up to 2,000 would be pretty sweet.
Well, I appreciate that. We've had a huge jump recently because of She-Hulk, so it's definitely, I appreciate it.
That's sick, man. I was happy when you got that love because that's a dope She-Hulk. You put a ton of work into that.
Yeah.
I guess we could start working. What are you working on tonight? And I'll give you the screen here.
All right, so I'm actually, I ended up for a commission that you didn't have time for. I did that Kate Bishop figure, so for the same customer, I'm going to be doing the Supergirl.
Oh shit! I didn't realize it was for the same customer.
Yeah, no, I think she'll be a lifelong customer as well, man. We hit it off pretty well, and slowly kind of building those. I got like her and Hernando and Nick, so I'm starting to get people that are like, hey, I'm going to come to you from now on, and that's a huge compliment. Something I don't want to abuse, and I want to make sure. I had
coming back for more.
Yeah, I was supposed to be doing Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank Deadlocked, which I'm actually venturing down the 3D modeling path for him. I actually have downloaded the PS2 models. I've actually have the object models I can put into Blender. So what I'm doing is I'm actually trying to use my little skills to sharpen those up and basically make them to where I can print the head and the armor and all that stuff and try that for the first time with the figure. But he's a little bit behind in the funds, so I actually moved Cynthia up here, but I'm actively doing the digital stuff for him. I know he's good for it, but until he actually pays, I figured I'd get cranking on this one. So I'm
Nice.
using the, well, I'm not used to using the
I know, me neither. I still do it all the time. All the time.
Like, why can't I see it? I'm holding it up. I can't see it. But
I constantly go to reach, and I'm like, oh shit, it's the wrong way.
yeah, like working in the mirror. I knew a guy who actually tattooed himself once in a mirror, and he actually did a.
Oh my god, how? That's a fucking
yeah,
crazy.
on a test, and he did it backwards. It was a symmetrical piece, I guess. Is probably. So anyway, I'm using the McFarlane. He basically Todd made that Wonder Woman his own design specifically for his figure line. So it was that custom design of his. So I decided to use that figure because I really like the structure of the legs and everything. I felt really matched. Shit, I suck at this, man. Try to find the best McFarlane base I could, mainly because I actually got the head sculpt here from the actual Supergirl figure they released a little while back.
Yes.
And, I forgot what
that's
the
from
line
like the
was.
earlier. That's from the earlier stuff, isn't it? Like the earlier, yeah.
Actually, I didn't realize when I had Cynthia had reached out to me. I said, "Well, yeah, I think they actually made one of these." So I looked into it, and they're actually pretty pricey. So I was thinking in terms of, getting one just for customizing. Obviously, trying to run a business, paying $60 for a loose figure wasn't going to happen. But I'm the eBay ninja, as my wife called me. So I did some digging, and I found a lot of times if somebody misspells something or puts something in incorrectly, you can kind of find what you're looking for. So I actually did that. A guy was selling them for $25. So
nice.
I can't find them for like 60. But anyway, so I got Melissa's head sculpt.
Oh, cool. That makes it easier.
Yeah, what I'm planning on doing is I'm actually going to cast just the head. I've already removed the hair. So I'm going to make a cast of the head and then reattach the hair and keep the figure for myself. And then that way I can do some custom hair because her hair is amazing and I really want to try to kind of get that. I've got a picture of it here, I think.
I fucking suck at hair, dude. Seriously. I've been chatting a lot with Morning Wolf, and I'm like, how do you get your shit so good? It looks so good. Mine never looks good. Always looks like shit. Yeah,
and Mike De La Paz and Christina Conan.
Oh god, he's so fucking good.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
Look at those locks, man.
Yeah, those are good locks. Those
are
some good sculpting.
So I really want to try to get that because her hair always looks so amazing,
That's sick. I saw Jesse Rath commented on your picture too. That's dope.
Yeah, no, I was at the park with my girls when I saw that earlier, and I'm like, no way. But I had a feeling that was probably because of you, so I appreciate that.
Oh, I didn't send him I put it on my story. I'm sure he probably saw it there, but yeah.
That's kind of where I was guessing, so.
Yeah. Did he follow you? Do you know?
I don't believe so.
He might. He probably will. I wouldn't follow this. People are gonna unfollow after this. No, I was kidding.
Man, that's fair. When I was in the waiting room that said, make sure you have good lighting so you look pretty, man. There ain't no making this look pretty. It doesn't happen.
Is that turning the lights off? That's what I always say.
I mean, hell yeah. It's like drywall. I'm like drywall. It looks much better with the lights off. My boss used to tell me, he's like, make sure you have a light whenever you're hanging sheetrock and finishing it because it always looks better in the dark.
That's great. Barrett Johnson says, "Hey ladies, it's Grinman here.
What up, Grinman?
How's it going?" And Collector Express says, "New collector is a machine." Yeah, it's so true, man. Honestly, if that guy had more things to do, he would put out so much more. Like, he's slowed down over the last year because he just is running out of shit to do. I'm like,
start from the beginning, start over.
It's funny because he recently discovered the difference. He's always used white epoxy sculpt, and he hates sculpting. And then last year, it's probably late last year, he couldn't get any white, so he got gray. And have you ever used white versus gray?
No, the only white I ever used was Milliput.
Oh, you always use Milliput. Okay, so
that's only white. I don't use it anymore because it's like 20 pounds once you get your figure done.
Right. Yes, of course. Well, he use the gray for the first time, and he was like, it was so different to him that now he's like, oh, now I kind of like sculpting.
No kidding. That's
like,
crazy.
I personally like gray better. I don't like the white as much. I find the white's like softer. It's
Okay.
not, like, it doesn't hold its shape as much, like when you're working with it, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I always buy gray when I buy it, but I've had to buy white in the past just because I didn't have any other options.
Interesting. Yeah, we have a place here in Denver. It's called Reynolds Advanced Materials. Their focus is really kind of on a larger scale of molding and casting, but they still sell epoxy in, these size tubes. And actually, this is I got from them like 4 years ago. I'm almost out of that. I'm almost ready to buy some new stuff.
You need to get new shit, dude. I've been watching your live streams, and it sets in 35 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's getting worse too. But I'm almost there. I'm actually waiting for my business card to arrive into the mail. When it does, I'm gonna be buying some stuff. I'm gonna get a pressure pot, a compressor, all that,
Nice.
molding and casting, and all the stuff that's hopefully deductible, and that I actually have a legit business. So
that's cool, man.
It's funny. The state made me buy a labor poster. I shit you not. I had to buy it because even though I have no employees legally, I have to display a Colorado labor poster in my place of work. So I have all these centerfolds and a labor poster. So
you should make it your desktop when you're customizing on Tuesday nights.
What's that?
You should make it your desktop when you customize on Tuesday nights.
There's proof. There's proof. This $90 poster that you guys made me buy is hanging up in my house.
Yeah, well, at least you can write other shit off. So there's
that.
Cool. So you're working on Supergirl tonight.
That's I resculpted the torso, and then I did the hips, the butt this evening or this morning. They're not quite where I want them to be. I'll go ahead and pop this on and see if I can get it better. I'm going to take the focus off of me now here. So.
No dick pics, eh?
What's that?
I said no dick pics, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I was much to my dismay. You said no music or nudity, but I'm a good boy. I listen and follow. I'm going to prop this up a little better here, hopefully.
There you go. Okay, well, while you get ready to do that, I'm going to walk through what I'm going to do, and then we can start working. So
awesome.
So I'm going to switch over to solo for me. I'm going to add in desk cam, and we're going to go solo on that. There we go. So fancy. So tonight, I am working on two things. I already started working on one. Both of the things conveniently fit the theme of Draven. He sent me this 3D print of this little Gator Loki, which I think is super damn cute. And I primed him last night, and I started putting a base coat on him already. I've got 3 coats on now, so continue with that, and then I got to add some washes and some dry brushes. It should be a fun little project, just a quick and easy one, but I really like them. So, but my one horn broke when I was cleaning him. I dropped it in the sink. I didn't even notice it until after I got back into the room. It's just minor. It's just the tip of it. So that's what she said.
You know how well I packed that thing. Come on, man.
I know. I was surprised that it made it without breaking. So, and then the other thing I have is this head sculpt for So for anybody who was watching WIP Wednesday live when I was working on this guy, this is that Bond Halo crossover figure that I made for my friend. So we're going to be switching the heads out. We're going to be adding this custom head that Draven did for me. He did sculpted it in wax, and hopefully that'll focus. But yeah, it was a pretty easy cleanup. I ended up using the one you originally sent. I thought it had there was in the newer one you sent me, there was a couple imperfections in the hair part at the top. So I thought it would be easier to fix this one. It had a couple divots in the cheek, so I just filled those in. So, but yeah, so and I've hollowed it out to the point where I can fully reset it, because yeah, I want to make sure it sits nicely on the neck. So, but yeah, so this is gonna replace this tune. I told him he could have both the heads because I don't really care. So if he wants to have a cartoony option, he can have a cartoony option. If he wants to have a realistic option, he can have a realistic one. And here's for anybody who is watching, let's see here. Add that to stream. So this is the picture I gave Draven to work with, and this is what he ultimately came up with. So pretty sweet, worked out well. And yeah, I'm excited to finally scratch this guy off my list because he's been done for a month. So now I'm just got to do this, and then I can hand it over, which is kind of cool. And this is the guy that made my logo and all my fancy new graphics and shit like that. So it was kind of like our trade. What's that?
I said graphics man.
Mr. Graphics. The man himself.
Yeah, so, sculpting like this it's tough, man.
Oh my god. That's another thing I wouldn't be able to do, so yeah.
Yeah, me either.
I don't know about that. I think you did a pretty good job. Okay, I'm going to switch the camera off me and onto my airbrush because I'm going to be airbrushing. So that's what's up. I have to work my magic with this camera here. The bendy arms that I use, they only work in certain angles. Like as soon as they like get lower than that angle, they start to like fall on me. So I'm going to I'm just going to quickly show since I have this up. So yeah, that's the stuff I'm working on, and then this is what Draven's working on for anybody who is just randomly jumping in. So
yeah, I wish I was to that point.
There we go. So you're going to have 3 screens going on. Barrett Grinman says, gray is so much better, epoxy. Don't know why. Yeah, man, me neither. But it is better. I agree. Totally agree. All right. So I have already mixed up. So I usually kind of just go over what I was working on. So I've already mixed up so I thinned out some paints to use on my airbrush. I'm using this Citadel Wog Flesh. That's what it's called. Wog. And then I thinned it out with this Liquidex airbrush medium. It's my go-to. And now I'm just gonna airbrush the shit out of this. Baby steps. I think I need to thin that out some more. So now I'll ask you some questions while we work because I wrote questions down because I'm a good host.
You're assuming I can multitask, all right?
I'm not gonna lie, it's extremely challenging.
You're like, I know you can, man. I've seen your lives.
I mean, the nice thing about I did an Instagram live on Friday night because I was home, so I didn't have the whole setup, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like so much easier because like all I did was just set up my camera and just fucking went. Like I didn't have to like highlight messages or like set a banner or anything like that. It was just easy peasy.
So I got my camera in a better angle. So this is kind of what I was showing earlier.
Here, let me give you the screen here.
Sculpted the torso and the butt and everything this morning, mainly because those rubber pieces, they just didn't work, man. I never done a McFarlane custom before, so I was just hoping and thinking I could make them work. And at the end of the day, I cut the neck, relocated it to make it look proper. It was, you know, it's the epoxy. It was way down there, so like her neck.
Oh, you did move it back.
Yeah.
Nice. So, that's good. That was a good call. She had a weird hunchback thing going on. I'm assuming that was to accommodate the hair, but
yeah. So now it accommodates the hair I'm using. So I just did a general breast sculpt there to basically put the arm over. They might be a little big. They're not She-Hulk big by any means. But I'm going to try to. I could actually easily pop this piece off before now that I got the epoxy in there. I actually have difficulty doing so I'll probably try to heat it up in 2 seconds. I'd like to go in and clean it up a bit, but really I'm going to kind of shave this down. I usually don't do a lot of sanding, to tell you the truth, but since this is totally new for me.
You don't do a lot of sanding, did you say?
No. I rarely will. I basically just try to get the sculpt right the first time. So if I ever have to, it's just because some extra sculpt ends up somewhere I didn't need to. It's just that's my goal. My ultimate goal is that I think the less sanding that I do, the cleaner
I
it
try
is.
not to as well, but sometimes I just can't help it. I'm just a sloppy worker, and I try to do too much at once, so I ultimately end up missing stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's understandable. Maybe that's a good thing about my shitty epoxy right now is I can't do too much at once. Physically cannot. It's already drying as it makes it.
Folks, I gotta tell you, I could not use 4-year-old. Like when I bought the 4-pound tub, I used like maybe like 2/3 of the container, and then I threw the rest away because I was like, I can't work with this. Like I just can't work with it.
I'm probably gonna forget what fresh stuff is like once I get a fresh thing of it.
Oh my god, dude, that's gonna fucking blow your mind away.
I forgot how to sculpt. I think I got a case of the yips. But yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with it. It's more legend-like at this point, but she still is going to fit that 7-inch head sculpt I have. There's a much better view of it now, so I think they did pretty good on the likeness. I'm gonna cast it, so hopefully I can make it look a little bit more like Melissa, especially with the hair and whatnot. And I'm just gonna have to.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is with those is they never really have the paint to really bring them to life. A lot of the time, those sculpts go unnoticed because there's just no paint application, which I understand, but it's just too bad.
So I'm really hoping that I can do that because I honestly haven't seen really too many customs of her.
No. Well, when I did the figures of Jesse and Dreamer and Danvers for Jesse, I got bombarded with requests for Supergirl customs, and I was just like it's not in no disrespect to anyone who works on it. Like, to be honest, working with Jesse, I got to do it twice, and seriously, he was by far the most fun customer I ever worked with, because as someone who takes criticism for a living, he was extremely good at providing his feedback and providing thoughts on the process, and he was super engaged in the process, and it was awesome. But so I know he won't watch this, so I can say it here, but the one figure, so I ended up having to rush those when I did the 3 of them for him last, and I was super unhappy with the figure I made of him, super unhappy. I hated it, but I literally put them back together 2 hours before I met him.
Really?
Yeah, because I took pictures, and then I had to fix a few spots of paint rub. After I took pictures, I kind of caught a few spots that I needed to fix. So I went back, fixed them that night, clear coated them in the morning, and then reassembled it, and then went and had a bar and handed them off to him. So I wasn't really happy with his finished product. So I've now decided I'm going to remake it for him, as a surprise. If he finds out, he finds out. But yeah, so I actually already have all the parts ready, and then I'm going to get Cranium Kicker, the guy who that did all my Blink-182 heads for me. I'm going to get him to do a head sculpt of him, and I'm going to not only send him a new figure to replace the last one, but I'm also going to send him a new head that has his exact likeness for the first one I did for him. I don't know if I'll be able to paint match the skin exactly because I don't have it in my hand anymore, but the plan is to send him a replacement for that, so that way both the customs he has on display have a really good likeness of him. So
that's cool. Very cool.
Well, just because I really like working with him. He was so cool. He was so down to earth, and we met, and he bought my wife and I a drink. I met him and his wife, and it was fucking fun, man. He was just such a good dude. It was such a cool experience.
Yeah, it's good on you, man. You've well deserved.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Yeah. I honestly still don't even know. And the funnier part is I remember how we originally connected. I used to post for open commissions on Instagram, and I would kind of pick the ones I liked the best. And he messaged me and asked, and if he wouldn't have said, "I'm the actor who plays Brainiac," I probably would have just passed right by because it didn't really like appeal to me that much. I'm not a DC guy, you know. I don't really kind of gotten away from more of the live action stuff. Just doesn't really play to my strengths as much, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
So it was in that situation. It was kind of like I would have said no, but I'm so glad that I didn't because it just opened up such a cool experience twice. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's insanely cool. It's just that's the crazy thing about modern technology. You just never know who you're going to reach.
Totally. So. Well, like I did that Mark Hoppus figure I wanted to give it to Mark Hoppus, but I never could. You know who Mark from Blink is, I assume, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I made that Mark Hoppus figure in hopes to give it to him. And he didn't end up getting it, but he has seen it and he commented on it. So that was cool enough for me. I was like, all right, that's good enough. I can be satisfied with that. But I still hold on to it in hopes that one day I'll go to a Blink show and meet him and get to be like, hey, man, I made this for you like forever ago. So here you go.
Yeah, absolutely. How's he doing? Have you heard? Is he?
Yeah, he's doing better. Yeah, his I think he's kind of like he just did a test, a 6-month after test, and still cancer free. So that's a good thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a hardcore Blink fan. Like that, I always say that like they literally influenced the person I am today. I can tell an awesome dick and balls joke anytime. So it's like. So yeah, no, it's I love their music. I think they're just the fucking funniest. You know, if you even look at any pictures of me from like, well, really any time since I was 17, I pretty much just dress like I'm in Blink-182.
Right.
So it's one of those things.
My wife was a pretty big fan back in high school. She had the shirt with the take off your pants and jacket logo.
The jacket, yeah.
And she wore it several times, and finally somebody tipped off the principal as to what it meant. They made her turn it inside out one day and say, and I found it. I'm like, yeah. I like that little rebellious spirit, little subtle things like that. So my buddy went to a Pantera concert our senior year instead of doing his English final, and he almost didn't graduate. But yeah, he's an air traffic controller now. But anyway, he got a shirt at the Pantera concert. This was 2001, so this was shortly before they split. But at the bottom it said "Still fucking hostile," and he wore that shirt to school like 10 times, and nobody ever said anything about it. I don't think they noticed. Like my wife has to, basically had to return her take off your pants and jacket thing because it, subtle implication that was there. I was like, his shirt literally says "fuck."
Yeah. So, I went to a Catholic high school, so I had to wear a uniform. So we didn't
gotcha.
If only my then could see me now. I have to wait because I only am doing one layer at a time here, and I don't want to put too much paint on. So I'm zooming in on you for a second here.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything interesting, unfortunately, but so yeah, as you see here, so this morning these hips are completely custom sculpted. Like that joint that's in there, if you look at those earlier pictures on my Instagram, you can kind of see that basically this was over that. That's all it was, is this rubber.
Oh, so you got rid of the over thing, and now you're not going to use that the soft part, right?
Yeah, this is all, everything you see here below the top, it is all structurally sculpted. So,
wow, that's crazy, dude. You have a good eye for that stuff.
Well, for certain things in life, anyway. I've had many years of research on the female form.
Man, you got that ass perfect. I wonder why.
Like I was looking at pictures of Melissa's ass, and it was for a purpose. It was for a purpose, people. Come on.
I swear I'm not a pervert. I just this is all.
Well, I'm not saying that, but But anyway, so yeah, once I popped them off, if you can kind of see here, I had a little bit of buildup of epoxy in there. So what I'm going to do is now that I've got them off, I'm going to do like I always do with any figure. I'm going to come in with a Dremel, and I'm actually not in my man cave. I know I'm in my
Clean it up a little bit, like kind of hollow
basically hollow them out. So hopefully we have a lot more movement. But one thing I notice I don't like is that funky joint there is showing pretty bad with there. So I am contemplating, because I'm not sure why this piece, because McFarlane, that's why.
Yes, that's the answer.
These go into this hip piece here, and I think they're ultimately meant to be able to turn, but they hardly turn with the shit. Of course, I say that and it starts turning.
Why don't you just extend the leg to cover that a bit more?
I think I'm going to, because all these cool patterns and stuff are going away, unfortunately. And you know me, I like texturing my sculpt.
Yeah.
I'm going to find something that looks like, I've got some close-up pictures of her outfit, and you can see all that texture.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest things about doing the figures for Jesse, was like there's so much texture. I enjoy doing the texturing too. Collector Express McFarlane diaper.
But yeah, so to your point, that's exactly I think what I came up with. I may even be able to, what I may do is actually just grind this piece down right here, because it's going to want to rub on what I sculpted. So, like my Secret Santa project that I finally got in the mail today, praise the Lord, hallelujah.
Yes.
You saw what I went through with that.
Yes,
so
I did.
This is
honestly, that's a great piece. It's a bummer that it's having to be revealed so late.
You know, better late than never, right? So, yeah, I think to your point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grind the leg down a bit, and I'm going to sculpt it in. Maybe with something a little bit softer. I'm going to
use like some green stuff or something.
Yeah.
Or some Procreate.
Yep. With baby powder. I learned that from a guy. But yeah, ultimately I think it's going to work out just fine. You can see I've done enough resculpting of this part of figures, because I never think that Hasbro gives them enough of a booty personally, but maybe that's just a deep-seated Sir Mix-a-Lot thing. But
since they retired the Rogue, the Rogue body, they've kind of been they've been definitely a lot more tamer in a lot of aspects. That's for sure.
You know what's crazy though? Like the Joe Costa figure is a completely unique sculpt.
I know, weird, right?
Yeah, because I compared the two side by side to the retro torso, and they definitely, and the baby got back. So Mix-a-Lot would be proud. But she's got that weird, funky, sculpted line over it. So I'm really hoping they reuse that someday, like basically, without that on there, so I can actually mold and cast it, because it's not just a perverse thing. I think that female superheroes should be jacked as well. I mean, we should have muscular structure just like the men do, but they've been, the recent legend body type I just think is way too thin.
Yeah, I agree with you for sure. I'm liking Shriek, which I think me and you have talked about before.
Yeah.
I'm liking Shriek a lot better, but like the one they were using there for the few years where like the legs were really scrawny and skinny.
Exactly.
I hate that body.
Absolutely.
I will not use it. It is just a shit. I'll buy a Storm figure instead, so I can use the thicker legs. Yeah. Even though they're not as thick as I would want them to be, they're thicker than the other ones are. So, but like I have a huge. I think Hasbro's females, like I feel like with the new double jointed body and like seamless body, that's gonna resolve itself. But yeah, they're in need of a redo for sure. I would love to see them get a little curvier with it, but I do understand why they don't. But
yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
I like my heroes as I remember them from '90s, like my female, like. It's like, is it sexualized? Yes, of course it is. But it's just, man, that's what I remember, and it's like that's literally what sticks in my head. And it maybe at the time was out of perversion, but it's not any. It's not anymore. It's just like that's how I remember it now. So it's.
I got you, man. So one thing that I did, I forgot to mention, the feet were strange as well. The McFarlane figure. So there was just this giant hole here where those double swivel ball things that they use were in. And what I did is actually I had some fodder, I think from the Misty Knight figure. And what I did was basically cut that out.
Oh, nice. And then just implanted it in.
Exactly. And then I used the feet from the Thundra figure. It was about one of the only good things about those figures is that they're a little bit bigger. But because of the size of the feet, they're bigger than the standard Marvel Legend feet, and they actually look pretty good on the 7-inch figure. So
cool. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's some good Frankensteining.
I appreciate that. And then for the neck, this is actually the peg from the MCU Baron Zemo figure.
Oh, nice.
So I actually had to dribble down in to the neck after I moved it and hollow that out to fit that bigger ball joint.
It's funny that you're saying that. I literally, in the Summer Swap group, one of the guys is making a figure and he was asking about how to get more range of motion. So I did that as well. Like I literally just did it. I made a video to show him because I was like, look, if you do a barbell joint into a hollowed out neck piece, you can get like way more tilt. You still can't get a lot of back because the hair restricts it, but you get tons of down. You get lots of side to side. So so I'm actually going to make a video and put it on YouTube to like show people how to do that conversion if they want, because it's so easy.
Yeah. Well, honestly, you told me about that because
was I the one who showed you that?
Yeah, we were
Black Cat or Rachel, was it?
I think I showed you that cast that I did of the retro torso, and I talked about how I elongated the neck.
Yes,
you're like, hey, you should just try this.
Yeah. I remember now.
So, yeah.
Collector Express says they don't allow enough room in the thigh rotations. On Escanor, he mentioned earlier that was his first McFarlane figure he ever customized. On Escanor, I was able to dremel out some material to gain a little more motion. Escanor, is that right? Am I saying that right? I don't know what that is. So, and then he said it sucks that the new Madam Hydra coming out is on the scrawny female body. Yeah, I totally agree. That's a fucking bummer. I have to say I have no real place for Madam Hydra. But I love that fucking head sculpt. I love it. Speaking of Madam Hydra, I don't know if that's not really Madam Hydra, but I threw up some primer on this Mandarin yesterday night. Last night. Oh man, I'm loving it now.
I'll give it a 10, a fucking 10.
I still have to blend the back of the hair. And then I still have to figure out the cape. I still have to sculpt the rings. I have to sculpt the belt. I have to sculpt knee pads. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with how it's looking.
No, it's phenomenal. I think that, minus all the, McFarlane figures I've gotten in the mail that were the primer gray that really pissed me off, I think it looks cool. I really think they look cool once you prime them. And it just kind of gives you all the sculpt work, and you see all the basically different grades of color and sculpt and stuff you've sanded and stuff you put acetone on. And you just put that nice layer of gray primer over them and that butter.
I actually I've never even handled a McFarlane figure before.
Yeah, I'm obviously used to Legends, but I wouldn't recommend it. I like the challenge. I really like the challenge. I'm to a point now where I know it's going to work. Just got a little bit more to do. Like I said, ultimately there's going to be texture over all of this, so I'll have to do a little bit more sanding and everything. Yeah.
Collector Express says that's looking great. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I really, really like it. I'm happy with how it looks. I was kind of a little bummy on it because I was worried, and I am super bummed that I'm not one to ever give up articulation. But in this one, I was like, I cut the boot cuts out because I'm like, if I want to do this cool like thinned out like look, like I need to get rid of the boot cuts or it's gonna be so fucking obvious. So I got rid of the boot cuts, and then after I put the skirt on, I'm like, oh my god, like he can barely move his waist. Like he pretty much can just do that, and that's it. And like I'm like his legs can't really move forward or backwards, really, like a little bit, but not a lot. So I was pretty bummed about giving up articulation, but then I was like, well, he still looks pretty dope. So, and I'm gonna do. This is for Stark Resilient Customs, Stark Resilient on the Foosh forums. But I told him one time that I would do a custom for him for like dirt cheap if I could pick what we did. And I was like, because I really want to do an animated Mandarin, but the catch was like he doesn't want it to have green skin. He's like, I want it to be like normal, like how it would normally be, right? Like Asian skin tone kind of thing. So what we're doing instead is to make up for the green skin, we're going to give him like the green like veins all up his arms into his hands, and then I'm going to do green veins in his neck going up to like kind of his chin area.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I think it'll look good. Speaking of looking good, this little Loki gator has some great detail. I threw a wash on. I'm going to throw a little bit more on it to really get it in there, but there's just so much fucking detail on him.
I haven't painted anything. Yeah, I haven't painted anything that I printed yet. So.
Oh, really? Look how good that is. Look how good it is.
Yeah. No, I've been pretty impressed. I've got the Mars Elegant Mars Pro 2, and it's a UV resin printer. So
okay, nice.
I did the second print I did looked a little choppy, so I actually recalibrated it because it doesn't take long. And I had, I'd calibrated it like a couple months earlier. So after doing that and doing another print, it looked great again. So
big difference.
Yeah, what I learned is, it takes 5 minutes to calibrate it. So every time before I print, I just run a quick calibration because I print like once every couple months, So
yeah,
that should increase as I'm starting to. I really want to start getting some stuff that I can open a store with and sell. I don't quite want to sell the STL files. I would prefer at this point
sell like the product.
Yeah. But if that gets out of hand, I'm either going to need to hire somebody to print and ship, and clean.
Yeah.
But that's a long ways down the road. That's the ultimate goal, is to have a store of stuff that I've modeled, and I don't want to do anything copyrighted. I want to be able to do like, here's a man's face, like a bearded man's face with no hair. That's screaming with sharp teeth. So
cool.
What do you want to turn into?
That would be cool. There's definitely a market for that. So.
That's what I'm hoping to like too. I know Carlos down Marco Diablo, to this day compliments me on the screaming face on the Valkyrie figure I did for him. Jane Foster Valkyrie. And like I took a cast and dremeled out the face and resculpted the face on that one. So that was,
cool. I think I kind of remember that.
So yeah, and to that point, that's kind of what inspired me. Like, what if I just had different expressions of, a female face of different ethnicity, the same thing with men, with bearded, without beards, and just make them specifically for customizers. Like, don't put hair on them. So like, hey, you can turn this to whatever you want, and I don't have to worry about copyright infringement.
Yeah.
I do have to laugh. I think it's. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I was watching another channel tonight earlier, and this guy had, have you ever heard of the Tashi Station Emporium on Instagram? It's like a 3D printed store. He does a lot of stuff for like Star Wars. He does like little stands for your action figures to kind of like stay standing or whatever.
I assumed it was Star Wars because all I could hear was Luke going, but I was going to go to the Tashi Station to pick up some Draven burgers.
That's what it's from.
Yeah, my buddy had a drinking game. Like, I don't drink, I never have, but he said that his drinking game was every time Luke whines in episode 4, you have to take a drink. I'm like, dude, you'd be fucked up in like the first scene with Luke.
I remember when people used to complain about how Anakin in the prequels would be so whiny, and they'd be like, oh, it's so stupid. It's so overacted. And I'm like, that's literally Luke. Like, Luke is that. Like,
Yeah.
exactly. Collector Express says, sometimes it's best to lose the articulation. I hate to lose it as well, but when it works better for the sculpt, it's a good trade-off. I'd agree with that.
Diddy made me, Diddy 310 made me a Dawn figure.
Yeah?
And he straight up sculpted the hair to the body. And like, this was kind of early on in my customizing career, and so like, he did an amazing job, and just the way he did the skulls on her and everything, and I saw the head has zero articulation. The head's stuck, the hair is sculpted to the body.
Static.
And I didn't mind it because it was just so well done. And I mean,
Nice.
everything else on her, I was just, at first I kind of looked at it and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I wasn't sure if I liked it right away, but then after I saw everything else he put into it, I'm like, it makes sense what he did, and it looked great.
Yeah, it's nice when you like, one of the things, let's talk about Legendary Summer Swap. It's going to be hard to get used to not calling it the Swoosh Summer Swap.
I know.
Secret Santa.
It's like when a sports team changes their name or their city, and the announcers are constantly screwing it up. I don't know how many times they called the Raiders the Oakland Raiders this year in the football season. Like, not they're in Las Vegas. They're the Las Vegas Raiders. But, anyway, sorry, I digress.
Where was I going with that? I don't remember. Lost my train of thought. Oh, Secret Santa. Yes, Summer Swap. So let's talk about Summer Swap. So this year we have more participants than we've ever had in Summer Swap, I think, or since you've been doing it anyways, right?
Yeah, I think on average, this is my third year running it, and the first 2 years were right around, I know for sure last year was 12 people, and I'm wanting to say it was about 12 the first year.
Okay.
So
12's even an okay number.
Yeah, and that was very manageable. We had all kind of talked about, hey, how we don't know how this is going to go, right? We don't know the switch.
Yes.
So I was obviously happy to give it a go. The fact that we had almost 3 times as much of a turnout tells me that I think we did the right thing.
I think we did too. My biggest worry is just when reveals start, and it's like there isn't a dedicated spot for it. But one of the things I'm considering doing is I may even put up a spot on my webpage for it. I think I'm considering that, just so that way we can have a dedicated place to kind of house everything, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Are you able to put your website and all the posts and everything so that way they can just like click on it?
Yep, for sure.
Awesome.
And then we'll still have it on our Instagram for that too. But like, I'm gonna soon, like what we were saying the other day, I'm gonna start sharing a lot of the work for people who are participating. We should try to get Collector Express to join next year. Collector Express, you got to come and hang out with Secret Santa at Christmas when we do it.
You got voluntold, sir.
Yeah, buddy. He's a good customizer. You probably know him. He's old 1987 or something like that. That's his name on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
You probably recognize his work if you've seen it. He has a few pieces that I think have like gotten some pretty good recognition. So I feel like I'm sure if you saw some of his stuff, you would know who it is.
Gotcha. Yeah, I follow a lot of the hashtags, the custom action figures, all that stuff. So
I can imagine what you get with that.
Yeah, there's sometimes so many things. It's like there's a lady in a bikini. That's not what I meant by. That's not what I meant by custom figure.
That's funny.
I swear that wasn't just a bad dad joke. That's actually happened.
Oh, I'm used to bad jokes. I hang out with Astonishing News and Reviews. He's like fucking king bad joke. Hey, they were on their podcast the other night. They were on your Instagram profile because I told them that you were the one that got them the Bronx figures. Thank you, by the way, for getting all those NECA figures for me.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't even realize that's who that was for.
Yeah. So it's for Elvin from Astonishing News and Reviews and Dee from Astonishing News and Reviews. For both of them.
Good. Yeah, Dee actually.
They actually pulled up your Instagram page and were going through it, so it's pretty cool.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and it was on the pod too, so it's right near the beginning. If you want to check it out, probably within the first 10 minutes
Awesome.
But yeah,
Well,
he's a good friend. He's a local friend, and he's a good friend, and he's putting out a fucking ton of shit.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So I noticed obviously I ship those domestically. Do they have, like my buddy Morley does, do they have like a means to head into the States just to get mail out of their post office box?
He does, but like the thing is, like, even though he's local to me, he's still like, he lives kind of like out in the sticks from where I live. Like I kind of live more in the city. He lives out like right outside of the city, but it's just like he's pretty far. So like I don't really like see him a lot. Like I probably only see him once every like 3 months, probably.
Gotcha.
So, but maybe now that he's moving their studio to his basement. They kind of their tenant downstairs that lived downstairs left. So instead of renting a studio, he's now just taken over the basement of his house. And,
it's like Wayne's basement, but it's not totally Wayne's basement.
It's totally Wayne's basement.
That was a haiku.
Doing my second color on this head here.
Cool. I'm filling in the armor lines. It's kind of funny how things work out. I actually bought this figure when she first came out. She was missing, like I have her in box, I haven't opened it. She's missing one of the arm bands of the armor. And so I totally forgot about that until I started this figure for Cynthia and got this base figure. And when I took those off, I was like, holy crap, I'm in need of one of these, and I didn't realize it. Uncle Todd, so she had these little, Wonder Woman had these little armbands on here.
Yeah.
You can see they weren't just, I'm trying to get the focus. There we go.
See if I give you the screen here.
They weren't just put on. There's actually a slot for them that they were sculpted in, which is what I'm sculpting over right now. I'm trying to.
Oh, so you're filling in where the bands were.
Yeah, and so the original figure I bought, I got her when she first came out. Typical Walmart, you know, they had her on the shelves, but she wasn't supposed to be out yet, and I managed to talk the lady into selling it to me. But when I got it home, I realized she was missing one of them. Oh. And I was like, well, that sucks. I was planning on keeping her in the box. But after I got this figure for this custom, knowing I wanted to use it as a base, I totally forgot that. So when I pulled them off the other day, I totally triggered my memory that I was missing one. So I inadvertently had a replacement for it. So I'll have to open her, but it's all good.
I really like your base that you've built for that. You've come a long way in even just 2 days.
Well, thank you.
Before she was a hunchback, soft-bodied, diaper-wearing kind of woman. Now she's...
Hey, diaper with me. Here's my diaper.
That's funny. Oh, nice. Collector Express says, a friend scored Demona for me and I picked her up today. Yeah, man, she's dope. I have to say, Demona looks fucking amazing, but I think Bronx is like currently in my top 10 of 2022. Like I fucking love that figure, man. He's so cool. His neck gets so much range. It's crazy.
Yeah. I was impressed with the way his hips work too. When I went to pack him up for you, I'm like, I'm so used to, you know, figures like that. They have back and forth. That's it, you know.
Yeah.
They go front, they go back, and then all of a sudden.
The thing is back and forth would have been fine.
Yeah.
But like, it's nice to see that they didn't cheap out. So.
Absolutely.
Not that I associate NECA with cheaping out. They're literally like the last company to cheap out on anything. So, but it's funny because once I got her and Bronx on my shelf, like I don't have room for my gargoyles at home because like those wings are they're fucking enormous. Like I have nowhere to put them.
Yeah.
So I brought them to work because I have a lot of like open space at work on a few tabletops in my office or like shelves on my office. So I brought them to work, and once I put Bronx and Demona up, I was like, as much as I'm happy to get the draped wings for Goliath, like I want him looking pissed off and like with the wings out, and like that's how I have Demona. I have pissed off face with the wings out, and then I have Bronx with the pissed off face. So I'm like, I kind of want them all to be like mean looking. So the draped wings that I was so excited for, now I'm like, I'll just put them away for now because It works. Yeah. But maybe when I get more wings and I need to like, because my biggest frustration with the display is I look at it and I see like all these gaps in the middle, and like these wings are gonna literally have that effect, and it's gonna be a real fucking annoyance to me. So, and the thing is, like, they all seem to have it. Like even Hudson, his wings are fucking massive.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I thought he had smaller wings. Like, aren't any of these guys gonna have something like mid-sized instead of all like they're all like over a foot wide? Like, how the fuck do you display these things?
I was planning on hanging them from my ceiling, to tell you the truth.
I was going to too. But the thing that sucks about them is they all have long hair and they don't look up enough. So it's like, that's my biggest beef with Demona is like, I love everything about her, but her range of motion in her neck, it's like not great. It's like, but she still looks absolutely insane. So
that's the first thing I noticed when I opened it. I was like, holy crap. I saw somebody complaining about it, you know, on Instagram somewhere. So I was like, I'll form my own opinion. I took one look at her when I opened the box and was like, no, they did great.
Like that, the red eyes angry look, like her eyes actually look like they're glowing. Like it's, the paint apps on them are so fucking nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love them. I'm not gonna go all in for gargoyles, but I am definitely gonna get the main crew and probably Elisa and probably Xanatos, and we'll see what else. But I'm in for that for sure.
Nice.
And then we'll see where we go. Like I skipped Taylog, I didn't need him. So are you going all in for the gargoyles?
I wasn't going to. But when I found him, because I had Goliath, I pre-ordered him. At the time, NECA actually had a pre-order that came through. But I easily found Taylor, and so I was like, yeah, I gotta have all these. So, and then it took forever to find Demona, like I told you. Then finally, she was available on the Holothon. And seriously, the next week, I saw probably 20 of them in the stores. That's when I had hit you up about that Bronx, and you were like, yeah, my buddies are still looking for him. But yeah, she was everywhere I went. I'm like, are you kidding me? I went to probably 10 Targets, and there were 2 places that even had a spot for her.
I remember. Well, because I was like clinging to you. Because I got stuff from you, and I got stuff from Figure of Speech, who is another one of my Instagram followers, who helped hook me up. And actually, between you guys, I was able to help 3 friends. I was able to help the 2 guys from the Astonishing team, and I was able to help my buddy Telford. So yeah, so it was nice. But it's funny because we started getting all that Holothon stuff at Toys R Us, like literally right after you started getting stuff for us.
Of course.
So like now NECA's in Toys R Us, which is cool. But like the pricing on some of it's insane. Like the 4-pack turtles is $250 Canadian.
Holy shit!
I know, it's insane.
People thought they were bad when they were 125 over here.
Yeah, well, 225 equates to, what would that be in American dollars? It would be 225 would be 175 US.
Gotcha.
So not that much more, but still a good amount.
Yeah, we gotta make everything difficult.
Yep. Guys, you Americans and all your weird measurements. I'll never understand when someone says to me it's easier to count in inches and feet. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Those are 12s. We do 10s. It's so much easier. Collector Express says my only gripe with gargoyles is they all need alt wings, but he's all in. So
yeah. I do like what they did with Demona's tail, though. I thought that was slick.
Me too. There's a lot of things I like. They're doing a lot of things right. I think they'll learn too. Like I think as we move along, they'll learn. Like there are the kind of things where like I would actually pay for like an alt wing pack.
Yeah.
Like I'd pay like good money for an alt wing pack if they did like an extra head and like a set of wings. Like for all of them, I'd probably be in for every single one.
Yeah, I was bummed they missed out on the alt pack that they did for the TMNT, the first movie.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I was never, even as a kid, like I was all stoked for the second one. And I remember not liking it that much.
The second one's okay, but
right. All I remember, honestly, is Vanilla Ice.
Yep, me too. Well, Toka and Razar were. I was a big Toka and Razar fan too. So
Yeah.
But it's because I was craving Rocksteady and Bebop, and I didn't get it. So they were like my stand-ins. It's like, all right, it'll do, I guess.
This is what they're going to give us, and they're awesome.
Yeah, I'll take what I can get, I suppose.
It was crazy. I pre-ordered the Farm 2-pack of Casey in April, and Walmart canceled it. They canceled everybody's pre-orders. I don't think it was supposed to be a thing. And so,
yes, I remember that.
Once they finally said that they shipped and hit stores, I hate Walmarts. I hate going into Walmarts. I always have, always will. But I looked and I finally, Wes hit up our Facebook group and said, hey, these are actually, you can order them, which is kind of rare. So I went on the Walmart site and I ordered one, got it secured. I was actually on my way to Walmart then to look for the Love and Thunder figures as well. And I kid you not, they had 3 of them. Like, I had just, as I did the Walmart, I got my order confirmation email. Walked to the electronics section, and there was 3 of them there. I was
that's
like,
frustrating.
I'm like, if the shipping was free, but I figured I might as well just buy these and get my money back, and then I can actually look for the 3 I want. Which was
yes. So did you buy them? Did you buy one there then, and then just we're gonna return the other one?
Yeah, since I had just purchased it, they hadn't even shipped yet. So I basically just canceled the order and they refunded my money.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that it shipped when you were in Walmart. Sorry.
No, like it seriously came up for pre-order while I was en route to Walmart. I had to pull over to the side.
I see. I gotcha. Okay.
Because I've seen a bunch of posts, people saying the Love and Thunder figures were dropping early, and some people were able to talk the Walmart employees into selling them, and some weren't. So that's when I was like, cool, I'm just going to stop by and see. And sure enough, I mean, that figures. Just like with
what Love and Thunder figures did you get?
So I got, I think maybe I was talking to you about it. I didn't get into build Korg. But I got Jane, most definitely. I actually got 2 of her because I want to keep one in the package.
Nice.
Groot, because I don't have a teenage Groot yet. I thought that was awesome. Yeah. And then I got the Ravager Thor, and then King Valkyrie, which unexpectedly I think she is going to ultimately end up being my favorite figure. They did awesome on all of them, but she's gorgeous.
I almost passed on King Valkyrie.
Yeah.
And then I decided, once I saw better pictures of the face, I was like, damn, that's a good likeness.
Yeah, and that's honestly what sold it for me. They got her sitting right here. I haven't taken her out yet.
Really good likeness.
Yeah, they did. They knocked it out of the park with her, so.
Yep, they sure did.
I may end up, if I see one in the stores, I'm probably going to grab another one.
Are you? Yeah. Yeah, I ordered Ravager Thor, I ordered Valkyrie, I ordered Jane, and I ordered Christian Bale, because I always forget his name. God or Grode?
Gore, I think.
Gord?
G-O-R-R, Gore.
I don't know. But anyway, I ordered him because I was like, he's a bad guy, so I'll probably want him in the end. To be honest, Thor's one of my favorite MCU characters, so I'm in no way a Thor fan comic book at all, like not even a little bit. So boring, such a boring character to me. And then in the MCU, I was like, wow, this guy's super boring. And then Ragnarok came out, and I went in pretty excited for it because I'm a Taika fan. And then Thor Ragnarok is actually my favorite MCU movie. I love Thor Ragnarok. It's so fucking good.
I was the same way. I started rewatching everything in the correct time order.
Yep. Oh, nice chronologically.
Yeah, and I even threw in the Edward Norton Hulk in there as well. But I remember not liking the first 2 Thor movies that much, and that validated that. I was like, the same thing. I remember we went and saw Ragnarok in the theaters, and like, that is...
They're just uninspired, and he's just not that exciting. So it's like... Like his fight scenes are cool and shit, but he's just boring.
Right.
So I liked having him be more literal and like kind of a doofus. Like to me, that works. I know I can understand why people who are big Thor fans don't like that for sure, because it's like taking your character who's like in the comic books, like, you know, this super being and making him like a total fucking dork. But it's
Right.
but it's great. To me, it's fucking amazing. Like I love it.
I liked what they did with him in What If as well. That was hilarious.
That was a good episode. That was a
Party
great
Thor,
action
yeah.
episode too. That was a good, like, there's tons of good fight scenes in that.
Yeah.
So, do you? What is one of your most anticipated figures for this year?
That is a good question. I'm trying to think of what I have.
Got anything that's really standing out to you as something you're pretty excited for, or?
Trying to think back to my pre-orders. Give me a second.
One of the ones I'm like so excited for is that Toon style Usagi Ojimbo for NECA.
Yeah, absolutely.
That looks so fucking amazing. I cannot wait for that.
Honestly, I think I'm almost caught up because I was really excited about the spoiler alert announcement of the 3 Spider-Men.
Yes.
Even though that's not going to be for this year, that's probably going to be.
I don't think it'll be this year. I think they said it'll be next year.
Yeah, but that gives me hope that they might do the villains as well, because kind of like I said, I'm more of a movie guy, movie and games. So any kind of comic thing that I'm really into has been from the movies. And I remember I loved the third one. I loved the Tobey Spider-Man, and then I liked Andrew Garfield's.
I was gonna ask you who is your favorite Spider-Man?
I still think I got to go with Tobey.
Tobey?
Yeah, just I mean that when the first one came out right when I graduated high school. Mm-hmm. I wanted to say it was that next summer, something like that, but that was just a good time, and I thought, he was innocent and dorky, and could have done without the third one, but I think most people agree with that.
I love that video of that little kid, like, of recently, who's like dancing like Peter Parker. That's so funny.
Spot on. He had it nailed. They did a side-by-side comparison. It was like even the timing was right.
It's perfect. It's perfect. What was I gonna say? You don't do import figures, do you? Like, you don't do Figuarts or Mayfax or anything like that, do you?
With Harley Quinn, yes.
Okay.
I have only Mayfax and figures I have are Harley Quinn.
Okay, and that's it. Just Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I'm actually. It's kind of interesting. I mentioned the Bandai figures of the Final Fantasy. What poor quality they were, but I still obviously loved them just for the sentimental reasons and kept them in their boxes. But I believe isn't that the same company as Figuarts? Isn't Bandai?
Yes, Bandai makes Figuarts. Yes,
and they have come a long way because I think that.
Yes, they have.
Because I have the three versions of HQ that they did. So I've got the original Suicide Squad. I've got the one of her in her gold suit from
Second or Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey, yep. And then I just recently I had it on pre-order for like a year. Got the her black and red outfit from the beginning of the Suicide Squad, the new one.
Okay.
So pretty impressed with those.
I like that new black and red one. That's like my favorite look for her. I think it was good. I have no attachment to Harley Quinn. I'm not a Harley Quinn fan. I haven't seen most of the DC movies. I did see the newest Suicide Squad, and I really liked it, actually. But other than that, I haven't really seen much. I haven't seen a ton of DC. I don't really DC, so.
Yeah, my wife's the DC fan. She's mainly Batman, so.
Yeah, Batman. Did she like the new Batman movie?
We have it ready to watch at home because they finally put it on HBO Max. So.
Right. Be curious to know your thoughts on that. I as a non-Batman, like, to me, if I have to pick a favorite in the DC universe, it is Batman, but it's only because I associate Batman a lot like Spider-Man, where it's like, I love Spider-Man, but I really love Spider-Man's rogues. Like, that's really what I love. And it's like, Batman is that too. It's like, I don't really DC, but like when I think of DC, I think of Batman's villains. I think of like Joker and Scarecrow and Riddler and Mr. Freeze and Two-Face and Man-Bat and Clayface and Catwoman and Ra's al Ghul, and like that's what I think of, right? So it's
Calendar Man.
Who?
Calendar Man. I swear to God, it's like Taserface and Guardians of the Galaxy. There is a Batman villain named Calendar Man.
I watched Guardians 2 when I was at home last week, when I was in Ontario visiting my mom. Right. One day I was just bored, so I just threw it on, and fuck, man, I was laughing pretty good. I forgot some of the jokes from that.
Yeah, it's so good. I actually just watched it again with my girls are getting into all the Marvel stuff, which is pretty cool.
Oh, so nice.
They watched it with me. They still watch their after.
How old are your kids again?
So 7, 4, and almost 2.
Nice.
The hat trick of girls.
Well, that's all right. If I have kids, I hope I have a girl, I think.
Yeah, no, they're pretty. Women make the world go round, man. I'm content with it. I would have been. It was just me and my mom and my sisters growing up, so it'd been nice to have another guy around for a change. But it's nothing new to me, man. Hey. Love them to death.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. They're starting to get into gaming again, which I haven't. I used to be such a big gamer.
And, yeah, like before kids, you mean?
Exactly. Yeah, and honestly, customizing kind of took the place of gaming for me because.
Did it? Yeah. Like customizing literally is a full-time gig, even when it's not.
Yeah. Because, I discovered customizing right after my first was born, and that's... Could have been probably playing games this whole time, but this is like one of the first hobbies I've ever done that I haven't had to really take a break from. I mean, I've taken a week or so here and there.
Yeah.
I definitely need to, like with anything, but...
Yeah,
You've seen that I've got a little bit of my artwork, my drawings on. They're usually mainly only drawn musicians, but I would just be into drawing, for 2-3 months, and then I wouldn't touch it again for another 6 to a year. This is just one of those things that I know I got a passion for because it's one of the first hobbies in my life that I just do all the time. Being able
I find that it helps when it's something that you're like decent at too, right? And it's like, to me, a hobby becomes not fun when you do it and you get more frustrated with the fact that you can't do it the way you want to do it. Yeah. Whereas like for me, customizing is one of those things where like I've been able to like put my effort in and like actually see the labors of the effort like come to fruition. Like I actually can see that I put the work in, and so like I like that part of it.
Absolutely. I've noticed as I get better, I can get to the end result quicker and still maintain the quality, if not better than before, and that's really rewarding, and it's obviously necessary too. Now that I sat down and put all my people I got waiting on me down, and all the other projects I got going on, and I got a lot of work to do, man. It's a good feeling, but at the same time too, I hate keeping people waiting, so I'm really trying.
Yeah. I'm notorious for I don't generally like I won't take payment until I can start work, until I can really start like kit bashing, and like like I might take payment like a month or 2 out, but that's like that's about it. Like I'm that exact reason. And like for me, like I'm very systematic with my approach to customizing. Like I'm not one to have like a million projects on the table. Like as of late, 3 is becoming more of a normal thing, but for the longest time, 3 was like not something I had. Like it was generally 2 at a time. Gotcha. One kind of ready to go, and one like on its way out kind of thing, right? So this is looking good. Oh, sorry. Let's do this. Let's see if I can get So this is two different coats of, sorry, not two coats of paint. This is multiple coats of paint, but two colors. Got my base, and then I got like a heavy overspray of like a really light skin tone, and then I just went in and put like a flesh wash in some of the crevices and the lips, the nostrils, the ears, the eye sockets, and now I'll start building on that. So yeah, I brought that Marvel Legends thing up because I was gonna, oops, let's keep us in the frame too here. Oh, that's not what I want. There we go. This one was the one I was gonna ask you about. Are you MCUing enough that you're gonna order that?
Honestly, yes, and I did. It's actually the only one that I did pre-order, and I don't know why. I think just because I think I've made a recent decision. I think I'm going to go strictly MCU with all my figures. So I've got, I'm just collecting anything and everything. And there's a few I'll keep, like the Guardians of the Galaxy Angela figure. That might be my favorite, Hasbro Marvel Legends figure. So I'm not getting rid of her, but I've got a ton of stuff I've just gotten through the years just because it was cool.
Yeah.
But I think the time's come where I'm running out of room. And now that I'm collecting the NECA gargoyles, and I'm not about to get rid of the Final Fantasy stuff, I think I'm going strictly MCU. So yeah, I saw that. And if I change my mind, I can obviously cancel it out. But I hope they make an Aunt May. That's all I'm saying, dude.
When I see this pack, I immediately think, I'm like, oh, look at these civilian body parts. So good. Yeah. What do you think of Hasbro's new packaging?
Honestly, I think my first thought was everybody else's first thought. I'm all about going green. We growing up, we never recycled, but as in my married life, we have, and I'm amazed at how much shit that I probably threw away through the years that could have been recycled. Yeah. So I get that, but I think my first thought was everybody else is like, great, somebody's going to put a rock in there and return it.
Yep.
Because you can't really see, but I don't know if it's true. I heard that they've developed they've got a patent on some kind of anti-theft technology with it, that basically the box is linked to the figures somehow. So basically if you bring it back, there's a way to know that the original figures aren't there with it. I don't know if that's bullshit or not. It sounds like bullshit. It smells like bullshit.
Sounds like bullshit, yeah.
What's on the ground there? What's that on the ground there, John? Man, pick it up. I could pick it up, dude. I think it's dog shit, man. I picking it up. Just put it in your hands, man. You feel like dog shit? Yeah, dude, it feels like dog shit. Why don't you give it a little taste, man?
This is where I worry about it. Is to me, the nostalgia of these retro cards. Now, I'm not one to double up. I mean, not with the intentions of keeping them mock. I like the aesthetic of these retro figures, but I would never buy it twice just to keep one in package. But a lot of my friends do. But man, a lot of my friends won't do that for if you can't see the product. To me, ultimately, I don't really give a shit that they're doing this. I mean, aesthetically, I don't like it, but I literally buy maybe under 5% of my figures in person. I almost buy exclusively online.
Okay.
So it's not a huge deal to me because I already don't get to see what I'm buying. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah. Oh, I missed this comment. Collector Express says I would have gotten it, but at nearly 60 US, I was waiting for Peter. I was just wanting Peter for a base for a custom Kevin Green, Ultraverse Prime in human form. That's a cool idea.
I heard that you could, I don't know for sure, I heard that you could Ned, but I think Dorkside has the option to buy them loose.
But the thing is they're very expensive still. If you want the sought-after figure, he wants Peter. Peter's the sought-after figure. So I think if you want Ned, he's $21. But if you want Peter, he's $45. Or you could buy the whole thing for $60.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
So it's kind of why would you kind of thing, right?
Yeah, no, I got you, man. That's fair.
Have you ever used a dry brush before?
Like there's
like it's specifically for dry brushing.
No.
Oh, dude, they are fantastic. I bought one on a whim from Green Stuff World.
Okay.
And man, it's a game changer. It's just like super soft. It's like almost like a makeup brush.
Okay.
It's really, really cool. It does a great job. Like I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you can get the same thing with a regular brush, but it just basically just makes it easier. Like you don't have to. It's kind of like flawless. Like it's easy. It works really, really good.
They have so much cool stuff on there.
I know they do. I have to stop myself.
I bet. One of the things that's intrigued me is their texture plates.
I ordered one, but I have two, but I haven't used them yet. But I ordered
Gotcha.
them when I ordered these.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I wanted to try to figure out too is, texture plates that won't leave creases, right? If you put them, because those are really meant for like making bases and stuff.
Yes.
For miniatures. Yeah. But my first thought is, how can I manipulate that onto a figure to put that texture on the clothing?
Yeah. I bought fur, like a fur texture.
Okay.
And I bought a like kind of like a houndstooth, kind of like just like a body armor kind of texture, like just something to use for like MCU figures or live action stuff to give it a bit of texture. And they're flexible. They're kind of like blue stuff, so they're silicone. So, but yeah, I haven't used it yet, but I bought two of them when I bought these brushes. So,
okay.
Yeah. I'll let you know when I try them. I almost tried them yesterday on my summer swap figure. I was finishing up the sculpting on my summer swap last night. So,
yeah.
How are you doing on your summer swap?
I need to get back on the horse. An idea I had to make interchangeable clothing on it. I don't know if I'm going to have time for that or not, even though I've already sculpted the magnets into the figure. But I realized that May 1st is Sunday, which is like, holy crap, I've got a month to go. But I'm pretty much sculpted. But didn't do anything. I keep meaning to send you pictures, right? Obviously, I haven't. But I didn't have time to do anything nearly as extensive as I've done in the past as far as the swap figures go. So usually my summer swap figure is not as epic as my...
I was just going to say exactly that. That's where I'm at. Is like I didn't look at the list and say what's going to wow everybody. I was like, what can I do well that's not going to like kill me?
Gotcha. I appreciate the hell out of you and Wes joining this year. That was a great compliment, because I know that you guys have had some bad experiences in the past. And
I don't think Wes has, but I have. Yes.
Yeah.
So it was nice. For anybody who doesn't know, before Draven was running Summer Swap, I was a regular in the Summer Swap over on the Foosh, and I had one year where the organizer didn't do what they were supposed to do, and ultimately I ended up getting a figure like 6 or 7 months late, so which is not ideal. But yeah, I almost actually stopped doing the swaps altogether, and then I ultimately did do this. I stopped doing the summer swaps because I was just like, if you're not going to do it the way you're supposed to do it, like the person who ran it made a mistake. I don't want to even say made a mistake, but it was due to their negligence that this all kind of happened.
Don't let people ship until their recipient is done.
Yes,
it's like
exactly.
a pretty easy concept, right?
Exactly. So yeah, so it's one of those things where, that happened, and then I haven't done it, and then I've been watching. I mean, I still follow it every year because like I enjoy the camaraderie of it, but. You've done a really great job with it. So once I saw that it was in good hands, I was like, all right, let's fucking do this. This should be good.
So, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I've managed people a lot in my life, so I felt like it was a good fit for me.
Yeah, totally. It is a good fit for you. So it's nice to have somebody who's enjoys it and does a good job with it. So
I had to laugh though. I was like doing my absolute best to kind of keep the anonymity of like the whole event, you know, because I know obviously your first year of helping out, but Wes has like hardly ever had that, right? He's been running
Yes.
for a decade now, so I'm like, yeah, man, I'm going to keep everything secret, so like everything is a surprise to him, even his own gift. And then he was like, yeah, I don't care.
Well, he doesn't care, but like when we did Secret Santa, he got a gift from Face Customs, who is somebody who I chat with on occasion. And I remember like when he sent me the final pictures, like I had sent Wes the picture like at the midway point, and then after that I'm like, I'm not sending you any more pictures because like this is gonna be so dope and you're gonna get this and you're gonna have no fucking idea. And yeah. But yeah, it's funny how he doesn't care. He's like, I don't care. That's the thing I dislike about running it, is like the element of surprise and what everyone's gonna post is you still get the reactions, which I love, but you know, I don't get to react with everybody. Like I see it before it gets posted, right? So it's like, but that being said, it does bring a new thing to be excited about. Like, you know, once you kind of have that happen, then like now I'm like, I look forward to those reveals and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what everybody says about this one, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that part's pretty cool.
I got to see it first.
You what, sorry?
I just said you get to be like, I got to see it first.
Yes, exactly. It's the benefit of the job. What can I say?
Yeah, I'm hoping that, you know, like I said, trying to keep things, you know, exciting for you guys. I hope you don't think that I've just been, you know, trying to keep you out.
No,
my
I'm
pure
good with
intent was to have you guys not have to do as little as possible and have as much of it be a surprise, just because, you know, I know you guys are going to be at the helm on Secret Santa, and I'm pretty much.
And we don't get that, right?
Yeah.
Wayne West has never got it, but I didn't get it last year, so I'm cool with not getting it for that first one. That works for me. So
yeah, that was my intent. I really wanted you guys to be able to just sit back and enjoy the event and not have to worry about deadlines and all that as far as checking on the people. But definitely, like I said, a lot more participants this year, so that'll be kind of a challenge for me. Once we get to the point where we're like getting to reveals and stuff, like then we can step in, because at that point it won't really matter, right? Like, so we can get in there and give you a hand at that point, so it's not just you trying to do everything. But for the organization part, at least we both don't know who has what, and so that part's kind of fun. So yeah, my group is great, man. Honestly, they've been fucking running their asses off. I think everybody is finished except one, and like essentially he could just quickly slap it together and it would be done, but he wants to do that neck adjustment that I showed earlier with the bar. Gotcha.
So once he finishes that, he's done. So all three people in my group are finished except me. I'm not done, but
that's all good. But yeah, on the check-in, Morley sent me his, and I thought it was pretty good. Tin Rocket.
Tin Rocket, yeah. Did he send you his finished one?
Yeah, he did. He sent it to the obviously to the swap page.
Oh,
and I logged in and looked at it. But yeah, he and I have become pretty good friends. I had talked him into doing it again this year. He wasn't quite sure if he had a good experience the first time or not last year, and so he decided not to do Secret Santa. But then I talked him into doing it again this year. So
well, hopefully he finds it better this time and decides to do Secret Santa after. So yeah, he's in. I shouldn't say that, actually. Never mind. But I've also gotten to know him a little bit better since he signed up. So not a lot, but a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, he might be. I mean, you maybe talked about it. He might be close to you, because I know, like I said, he's got a P.O. box in Washington.
Oh, okay. So he's in BC. I didn't know that. If he's got a post office in Washington, he's in BC. Okay,
gotcha. Because yeah, I shipped to him in Canada before, but recently he got that P.O. box to make shipping. You know, he said it's like a 20-minute drive.
Oh yeah, he's definitely if he's right there on the border. For sure. Oh, cool! I didn't know that. That's awesome. Oh, I missed this comment. Collector Express is I'm gonna have to get one of those brushes. Yeah, they have them in multiple sizes. So they have them in. I got a smaller one. I got the medium-sized one, and I got a large one. I got all three. There was I think there's 4 or 5 sizes in total, but the other one's buried somewhere. But it's here.
Yeah, I might get one of those. I want to, the blue jeans that they did on the Wolverine in the movie figures are terrible.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. They're shit.
Atrocious. And I don't know if you saw my Throwback Thursday, that Rick figure I did. I think
Bloodshed guy or whatever?
Yeah, from the game. Those were probably the best jeans I've ever done. And so I really want to do Wolverine justice and kind of give him some, good custom paint over and replace the head. I've gotten a couple of the heads from Action Figure Customs.
Oh,
the ones that look a lot more like Hugh Jackman. So I just really want to revamp my Wolverine figures one of these days, but I don't feel like I'm at the point of being able to paint likeness as well as I would hope. So once I kind of get to that point where I feel like I can paint really well as far as realism goes, I think I'll redo all of the MCU figures, give them a good makeover. But
I've been using WIP Wednesday Live as a reason for the makeovers. Like, I'm doing all my little projects on here because I'm like, I want to do more stuff. Like right before, because when I start redoing my shelves, like everything else will stop being priority, and that will become the priority for probably like a month and a half. Because it takes a long time to do. Like, each one of these shelves takes me about 6 to 8 hours for one shelf, and I have 17 shelves.
Oh wow!
So I'm gonna be pretty fucking busy.
I would say so.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take a month and a half off, and then I'm going to come back to it and get into my swap figures for you guys. So it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Very cool.
How's that sculpt work coming over there?
Good. I'm just really filling in stuff. I was kind of hoping to be at the pretty phase by this point, but it is what it is. So just chat with you. I think it's also good for people to see how much goes into something sometimes before you even start
beautifying it.
Yeah, this is my 3rd day of really. Damn. No, that's not true. It's like 4 or 5 days of just the prep work. So
yeah, prep takes a long time if you do it right.
Exactly. It's a love-hate thing, right? If you do it right, your figure's going to turn out great, but it's just for the longest time you feel like you're dragging your feet and you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. I get stuck on prep sometimes because it's like I get to points where I don't want to do it, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. So I just like delay. So, well, I
think that's where it's nice having multiple projects going on when you do hit that.
Yeah.
Look at him.
This Gator Loki is so detailed and looks so good with these. So this is with a black wash and 3 different colors of green right now.
That looks great. Honestly, the chipped crown chipped crown.
Oh yeah.
He'll just fit right in the Sylvie, man.
I figured if it suited anybody, it would be Loki, so I wasn't that worried about it.
There you go. Absolutely.
I'm going to do another coat on the head sculpt here in a minute. Just to try to blend in all my wash that I just put in. This is where I'm at so far with that. Again, I guess the camera doesn't do it justice as much. I was watching Toying Around as another toy podcast or live stream that I watch. He's a Canadian. And he bought a new camera. And I was like, dude, how do you get that thing to focus so fast? Like, he just put something in front of it and it like immediately focuses.
Uh-huh.
So he told me what he's using, and I went and looked it up, and it's a fucking $1,000 camera. And I was like, fuck, I can't afford that. But it was like amazing. If I could afford it, I would have them for both my cameras because it's like crystal clear. Like, couldn't believe how well it focused on shit.
That's awesome.
Maybe one day. So, okay, now with this guy, what's left? I think I'm gonna do maybe some brown in there. I don't know.
So this could totally be me not paying attention, and obviously, I'm currently rewatching the MCU movies. But did Thor get his eye back at some point, like his actual eye?
No, he didn't.
Okay, because like in the Love and Thunder trailer, like he's got his baby blues back, both of them.
Yes, yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Yeah,
Even the Ravager Thor figure, like
you didn't miss anything. That just hasn't. Okay. We don't know.
Because we saw Endgame late, and we saw it in Hawaii because we had, my wife's mom and her stepdad invited us up there for their 10th anniversary. And we're like, nice. Oh, hell yeah, we'll come to Hawaii. And so that was, Endgame had been out a few months at that point, and so they're like, well, do you guys want to go, watch a movie or something? We'll watch The Girls. And we're like, hell yeah. So I saw Endgame late, but I've only seen it that one time, and I couldn't remember, did, Thor get his eye back or something like that?
He didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't.
Okay, so maybe we'll see.
We'll see what's up. We'll see what's happening. Ooh.
I got, are you going to go see Multiverse of Madness on opening day?
Yep, next Thursday. I'm going, nice. Baby.
Is your buddy
opening night
in the theater for you guys again?
What's that? Sorry?
Is it your buddy that got the theater for you guys? Is he doing that again?
No, not for this one. I think he's going to do it every year for Christmas, though. That's actually Astonishing News and Reviews as well. So,
okay, awesome.
Yeah. He did it last year, and he got a bunch of food for the food bank, which was really cool. And I think he's going to do it every year. So, kudos to him because, who the fuck does that? Who rents out a whole movie theater and then gives tickets away to the whole local community?
Yeah.
Who fucking does that? Well, Elvin does that. So, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. It's so cool. So, yeah, I don't know. I look forward to next year. It's fun to do it. We did it for Spider-Man, so I'm sure he'll do it with something that comes out in the... I think he was like, oh, I guess we'll do Aquaman because it's December. I'm like, oh, I'm not going. That's funny.
Yeah,
right.
Funny too. I watched Aquaman on the flight back from Hawaii on that same trip, and I was in and out, but I woke up at one point and I saw an octopus playing drums. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
What the fuck is going on over here? I think I also did the same thing. I think I watched Aquaman on the flight home and I fell asleep. So
I don't sleep on planes, so it must have been that bad.
This paint won't open. I have to seize the lid shut somehow. I need to get to you, paint. Come on. Where did I put my little... I have a little thing I use to kind of twist these things open. So we are getting close to the 2-hour mark. So, Draven, I don't want to keep you longer than you want to, but I also don't want to kick you off. If you need to go at any point, you just need to say, we're good, and we'll wrap it up. But if you want to continue what you're working on until you're finished, then we'll go until you finish, and then that's what she said.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm kind of to a point getting pretty tired with bedtime 2 hours ago.
Well, we talked about it being 2 hours, so
very cool.
So yeah, so we can start wrapping it up here, and then folks, what I will do is I will post some finished pictures on Instagram in the next few days of the gator and the finished up head that I'm doing, and yeah, I should hopefully be able to finish both tonight. So that's the hope.
Awesome.
Sweet. Okay, let's wrap this shiznit up. I'll let you say your piece, and then I'll kind of exit out. So I'm gonna switch my camera back to my ugly face here. Hey,
Hey man, I got you beat there.
get that mug on camera, dog.
Yeah, no, I think this has been good, man. I really appreciate it. Maybe we do it again in the future.
Yeah, man.
I can see that it's definitely a much smoother process than trying to go live on Instagram, especially because
it's only smoother because you can prepare for it in advance. That's the only reason why. If I didn't put any work into it, like I shouldn't say I wouldn't do it, because I'm trying to make this work. I'm at the point now where like I see you doing this as kind of like your main job now, and I'm like, it's not that I don't like my job. I like my job, but I'm just like, I'm noticing post-pandemic that like the social piece of it doesn't really work for me anymore, because I just like, I found like over the pandemic, I've just fucking started hating people. So like, I don't know, right? And it's like, now I'm like, if there's any way that I can monetize this and make this something that I can do as like a real job while doing commissions to make money. And then like, I even think of like doing like head painting, right? I'm starting to get better with my face paints. I'm still not there, but like I'm starting to get good enough that I could probably like sell a couple. That's an easy thing where you're just painting and you're not having to prep and you're not having to, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
But maybe somewhere down the line. But yeah, so I'm trying to think about ways where I could try to monetize, and like if I had more time to do this instead of working 40 hours at a job, I could work 40 hours on customizing, and we'll see.
Absolutely.
I have a good job.
Amazed how much I was saying you could definitely be amazed how much you get done in that time too, because I am technically full time, you know, I do this when I can still, because I'm not going to
you got the kids and stuff too.
You know. Yeah, so all the preschool stuff that, you know, the kids were doing with other teachers and whatnot, I'm obviously doing that now, teaching the kiddos how to write and read, which is interesting. My middle kiddo, she's a southpaw, so like I have no idea how to teach a lefty how to write. So I just like watch some of my friends and stuff and try to observe and show her, you know, kind of put your wrist this way and then kind of move your hand, you know, put your wrist at your destination, then move your fingers to where you're writing. I don't know, but anyway, all that stuff. But yeah, I guess the biggest thing I could tell you is that you know, I was very fortunate at Dish. I was making stupid money there, just like being a cable guy and then being a manager of cable guys. And like, my wife has her master's degree, and I was making almost twice what she was.
That's like, crazy.
Where's the priorities at? But to that point, you know, I feel very blessed, you know, with that opportunity, because we were able to, like, we don't have car payments. We hardly have any monthly payments at all. And we started, you know, I'm very handy with, you know, I did construction for years. So we bought our first house at $150,000 and sold it for $330,000. And then
because you were able to kind of fix it up and whatever, right?
Yeah. And so we've taken all that profit of that money we've had, and, you know, we put it in investment accounts. So we've got that backup, you know, like right now, you know, we're kind of barely getting by because I'm not being able to put enough time into this, but we kind of forget we have all other money, you know, so we don't rely on that. And obviously the stock markets suck right now. But to that point, you know, I was hoping to be at Dish for, you know, until my youngest was in school. It's, you know, 4 years from now, but that was kind of my time to get off that ship. But in my experience with it, man, just put myself in a good position where I could do that. I'm extremely grateful for it, and it's definitely weird not doing the 9 to 5 thing, you know, so to speak, every day. But I hope that you are ultimately, if you end up doing that, I know you're going to make it work, man. You're going to crush it. So you already
the hard thing for me is I'm in a similar boat to you, where like I make great money. Yeah. I get a company car. I don't pay for gas or insurance. I can use my company car for personal. I get a cell phone. So it's like, and like, to be honest with you, like, you know, I'm sugarcoating it to some degree, but like my job is at its most basic form, eating bread and cupcakes and pastries and baked goods and deciding what we sell in our stores. That's what my job is. So it's like, it seems crazy to walk away from, but it's just like, and I'm not walking away. Like the thing is I probably ultimately won't. Like I like to live comfortably. You know, I probably, I don't see myself probably ever stepping away from it, because it's like, how do you get a job that good, right? But it's just lately I'm just like, I love doing that. I love customizing. You know, I enjoy engagement with the community, and if I could find a way to, you know, bring money in from that, then I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I will be able to, but
absolutely.
But that's somewhere down the line. I got to get the followers up on YouTube before I can really do much. So I'm under 200. So anybody who's listening, if you care to subscribe, then I'm not against it. Drop a little like, you know, that shit. I'm like the worst hype man for myself, because I'm like, you should subscribe, or don't, because like, why would you?
That seems like my dating experience in high school. You could go out with me or not, you know. I mean, you
know. Oh no! Oh, okay. All right, Draven, you want to sign off? Let us know all once more where we can find you on your socials and anything worth looking out for. And yeah, floor is yours.
Very cool. So yeah, I just do Facebook for family and friends, but Instagram is at Draven Art Ltd, which is actually the name of my business as well. And
it's in the description, guys. So if anybody doesn't want to pay attention to that, you can just go into the description, and there's his name for both his YouTube channel and his Instagram's in description. So
youtube.com/Dravens with a Z. And I really, really enjoy making stuff off the beaten path. I think it's healthy for my brain. You know, if somebody comes with me with original concept, it's something I've never seen before. I'm not familiar with it, so I really have to kind of train my brain to make something original. So that's where I feel like I really excel. So if anybody's ever turned away by somebody because they don't want to do something, you know, that's mainstream, you know, I'm more concerned with enjoying what I do and helping people out than I am doing something that I know is going to get a bunch of likes and follows and all that stuff. You know, not that I don't appreciate the likes and follows, but it's really is about the art and the people experience for me. I've been in customer service for years, and there's a right way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it. Ultimately, I just want to make what's going to make people happy, even if it's not mainstream, and if it is, hey, heck yeah, let's do that too, you know. So that's what I got.
I'm the opposite. I'm just kidding. I do a lot of one-off weird things too, but I definitely I think I got a good chunk of my following from being the X-Men guy, because I used to do only X-Men stuff. Like literally take Morning Wolf, and that's me. That's basically my journey. It's like I started doing I mean, I wasn't that good, but like I started doing X-Men pretty much exclusively. And then once I kind of got out of my box, I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. Let's go and play in this yard for a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, we're all wired differently. And so I feel like that's my specialty, and I really enjoy helping people bring their own stuff to life, because God knows I have so many characters that I've created I just don't have time for. Maybe one of these days I'll share the ones I have. But yeah, so definitely I appreciate you, man. I appreciate being on here. This has been a blast, and hopefully you have me back in the future.
We will. We'll definitely do this again. We'll do something around what's it called? Secret Santa. Maybe we do a 3-way and get Wes on here too.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it way earlier though, because Wes goes to bed at like 7.
I know I know. It's like 2:00 his time right now. So.
Okay, so I guess we'll wrap this up. So Draven, thanks, man. Really appreciate you taking the time and staying up a bit later and hanging out. Guys, go give him some love, show him some love, give him a subscribe and a like and a comment and all the good stuff. And yeah, what do we got next week? We're kind of winding down for WIP Wednesday lives. I'm almost at the point where I'm ready to switch over to the collection. I'm going to be doing a weekly show for the collection as well. I just I still have to kind of figure out what that looks like. But it's basically going to probably be me setting up my display and knocking stuff over and then swearing a lot, throwing some figures probably. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a couple of those. So yeah, should be interesting. Let me see. Let me get my little notepad out to make sure I get all the pieces I need to say here. I have to write everything down because I'm a stoner and don't remember. Don't forget to follow.
Yeah, man, I have no excuse.
Don't forget to follow on Instagram at customsbymatchu. You can check out my webpage, customsbymatchu.com, and customsbymatchu on YouTube. And thank you guys for being here. And I don't know. Oh, Friday night I have. Last Friday I was in Ontario. I got to do Moose Milk podcast with my buddy Ryan live. So we actually were in the same room together, which was so fucking fun. And this week we're going back to webcams. So yeah, so watch us on Instagram, Moose Milk Media, at Moose Milk Media. We'll be talking about Moon Knight. Have you been watching Moon Knight, Draven?
I have not seen the recent episode, but I am almost caught up.
How are you feeling about it so far? Without spoilers.
I like it. I just wish there was more action.
That's where I'm at.
But definitely, Oscar Isaac's acting is phenomenal. I think he's
so amazing. He's so good. Yeah, that's pretty much my exact sentiment. He's amazing in it, especially, and the fact that he's playing multiple characters is fucking amazing and doing it so well. But I'm like, where's Moon Knight?
Yeah.
Where's Moon Knight? Collector Express says, I recently got a boost in subscribers on YouTube, currently at 1834. Yeah, I saw that recently. I saw you were over 1,000. That's fucking nuts. That's dope.
That's awesome. Yeah, he should be monetized at that point, right?
I think after 1,000 you do, but I might be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, we gotta have like 4,000.
For somebody who's considering quitting their job to make this their job, I don't know anything, so should probably start by doing some homework. But yeah. Yeah. Okay, man. Well, thank you again. Thanks again very much for being here. Thank you to everybody who is either here now or watching on the replay. And yeah, stay safe. And we'll see you next week for episode 16 of WIP Wednesday Live, potentially with a guest. I'm still working on it. I don't know if we're for sure set in stone or not, but I'm hoping that some shit's going down. So we'll see. So yeah. Okay, buddy. Take it easy. Have a great night.
Later, dude.
All right. Peace.